So if my video is the first thing that you watch when you just woke up, unfortunately I have some bad news. An Air Canada flight that was flying out of Montreal's Pierre Elliott Trudeau International Airport landed in New York's LaGuardia Airport when a collision happened with a Port Authority vehicle. And the damage is actually really severe, with multiple people injured. And some reports actually saying that the pilot and co-pilot have been killed. All of this is still breaking news, so I'm personally not going to trust it until there's more sources that say it. But I am going to talk about this topic a little bit at the beginning of this video. I also have a few more aviation topics to talk about in this one. And it looks like it is confirmed that ICE is going into the US airport starting today. But one thing I did notice about this report is that not everybody is pissed off about ICE going into the airport. Some people actually think it's a great idea. Which leads me to believe whenever I hear somebody say, you know what, majority of us didn't want this. Is it really a majority? And last topic for this video. Jet fuel has hit $175 a barrel, and what it means for your trip. So let's jump into the first report that talks about the Air Canada flight.
We interrupt with breaking news here this morning. I'm Alan Devlin. The NYPD has confirmed that an Air Canada plane has collided with a Port Authority vehicle on the tarmac at LaGuardia Airport. Right now is a live look at the airport there, where it is shut down completely due to this emergency. It is unclear what actually caused this collision, and there are no word on injuries, but you can see video from the tarmac showing that Air Canada plane here tilted backwards as FDNY, NYPD, and EMS race there to the scene. We have been told the FDNY says this happened around 11:38 p.m. yesterday. Flight radar says the plane's last speed was going 24 miles per hour at that time. Port Authority is handling this investigation, and Port Authority tells us that the vehicle involved in this incident was a Port Authority vehicle. That was.
Now, one thing that hasn't really been talked about since the shutdown. We all know that the TSA agents are out, they're not getting paid. But what about the air traffic controllers? Because with technology these days, you can actually listen in and hear what the air traffic controllers are talking about when they're talking to the pilots. And I want to show you this video clip.
Ground, Brickyard 5681. Frontier 4195, I got the word that we're going to be closed for a little while. If you want prepared to return to the ramp, let me know.
Yeah, we got stuff in progress for that, man. That wasn't good to watch.
Yeah, I know, I was here. I tried to reach out to my stuff, and we were dealing with an emergency earlier, and I messed up.
Now, you can hear the air traffic controller say that he messed up. Now, I'm not going to go into this. I mean, I don't know what he messed up on, and I don't even know if he is responsible for it. But to be honest, being an air traffic controller, I would not be able to handle it. There's too much multitasking for me. But not only that, the pressure of getting planes in and out, I would imagine it would start to wear down some of the air traffic controllers.
The vehicle that the plane apparently struck there. Transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve joins me now on the phone. Chris, you are looking at some of the same video that I am here. Can you walk us through anything you may know or may be able to piece together from the little information we have right now involving this collision?
Well, Alan, certainly given what's going on, details as we understand them are fluid and changing, but this flight was coming in from Montreal, had landed and was slowing down on the runway when this apparent collision happened. You're looking at images of the plane sort of inverted with the nose, or the area where there should be the nose, up in the air. It is likely that that occurred as passengers were evacuating out the back. That very well could have shifted the center of gravity on the airplane, resulting in it standing up the way it is in some of those images. So that likely occurred after the collision here. The pictures are very concerning because the front of the airplane looks to have taken significant damage. That's, of course, where the pilots would have been. A flight attendant tends to be towards the front of that aircraft as well, the CRJ 900. 24-mile-an-hour collision. You don't know how fast the other vehicle was going, but clearly a significant crash here. You have to be concerned about the injuries to the people in that vehicle as well as folks on board that airplane.
So I'm pretty sure by the time this video is published, there will be more news on what the actual cause of it was. I do hope that anyone who was injured in this collision, whether they were on the plane or in the fire truck, do make a full recovery. Now, just a quick update. As I'm editing this video, I actually found another clip that shows what happened. And let's take a look at the audio.
Truck 1 and Company, LaGuardia Tower, requesting to cross 4 at Delta.
Truck 1 and Company, cross 4 at Delta.
Truck 1 and Company, crossing 4 at Delta.
Frontier 4195, just stop there, please. Stop, Truck 1, stop. Stop, Truck 1, stop. Stop, Truck 1, stop. Delta 2603, go around, runway heading 2000. Jet 646. Jet 646, I see you collide with a vehicle there, just hold position. I know you can't move. The vehicles are responding to you now.
Is the runway closed?
Delta 2603, go around, runway heading 2000.
Heading 2000, go around, Delta 2603.
LaGuardia Tower.
Truck 2, runway 4 is closed, correct?
Yes, go on to runway 4 now. Proceed on runway 4, you have access.
Tower, car 90, runway 422 is closed at this time.
90, roger.
LaGuardia Tower, vehicle 98.
98. 98. Vehicle 98.
Vehicle 98, please show at this time. Runway 422 is closed. I repeat, runway 422 is closed at this time.
Tower, car 90, LaGuardia Airport is closed at this time.
So you can clearly hear the chaos over the radio just before the collision happened. Now this government shutdown, it's only affecting DHS. So the air traffic controllers should be getting paid because they're not part of DHS, I guess. But I wouldn't want to imagine what would happen if these air traffic controllers also had to show up for work and not get paid. But regardless of that, the entire aviation industry in the United States is just a little bit too worrisome for me. But what would also worry me, as well as I think many other Canadians and international people, is the fact that it's now confirmed that ICE is going to be deployed to airports. That would be the next topic I will talk about. But before I do, I would like to give a shout out to Peggy, who posted this photo on the Guard the Leaf page on the Hey Cafe website. And she took this photo from the Basin Head Marine Protected Area on Prince Edward Island. Now, what I actually noticed from the Hey Cafe website is that the photos that everybody's posting up, they are compressed, which means the resolution isn't going to be as high as what the photo was actually taken. So if you do have a very high resolution photo that you want to, potentially be featured on my channel, it might be better for you to email me. But I want to thank you, Peggy, for posting it up on the Guard the Leaf page and sharing it with the rest of the community. Okay, let's get to the next report regarding the ICE agents now being deployed to the airports.
Passengers at the San Diego International Airport waited in long, slow TSA security lines Sunday morning. And they weren't alone because this was the scene for folks in Atlanta Sunday. And also in New Orleans, where some travelers even missed flights due to the long wait. Now President Donald Trump announcing he's planning to deploy ICE agents to airports across the country. On Truth Social, the president posting, on Monday, ICE will go to airports to help our wonderful TSA agents who have stayed on the jobs. They will do a fantastic job.
If you need people, then if ICE is available to help out, then why not? So I believe it's a good thing.
Kevin Harper just landed home in San Diego. He doesn't agree with how the government shutdown is impacting TSA employees and leaving them without pay, but says he'd rather see more of a federal presence at airports than less.
Now, I think the rest of the world, or anybody outside of the United States, is going to think this is crazy. I also know that there's a lot of US citizens in the United States that probably think this is crazy as well. But it kind of blows my mind that, some US citizens actually want these guys managing the security at the airports across the country. I mean, some of these guys failed open book tests, and the standard to become an ICE agent is pretty damn low. So I don't think this is going to be a good thing moving forward. But then again, I'm happy it's also not my country.
My opinion is I'd rather have them here and be able to go home to my family than to have something happen.
So far, the Department of Homeland Security says about 400 TSA workers have quit, some calling out due to no pay. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy in agreement with the president.
The president's looking around every corner to make sure the American people don't suffer during the shutdown.
The president's plan to cover gaps with ICE agents seems to land with San Diego passenger Ron Najati.
When it comes to ICE and things like that, I trust that President Trump is doing what is done in the interest of the country.
I'm sorry, but you're an idiot. All of this is happening because of the president and his administration. And ICE coming in is just a band-aid for the problem that he actually caused. Hearing comments like these, like this guy and then the previous guy, really makes me wonder how many US citizens really still support the orange guy. I know a lot of people in the US say, hey, majority of us didn't vote for this. Well, I have to really kind of question that.
Meantime, in a statement, council member and Airport Authority board member Marnie Van Wilpert saying the complete opposite. She writes, our TSA agents are highly trained in aviation safety and security. Dropping ICE agents into airports to do jobs not trained for is a recipe for disaster, fear, and more chaos. She goes on to say the solution to long security lines and airport delays is simple. Congress needs to properly fund and staff TSA now, not substitute untrained ICE agents into critical security roles.
Now, it's already been widely reported that in the past, ICE agents have been sent into the field without their proper training. And now they want to send these people into the airport. And let's not forget, it has been mentioned previously that they're not just going to be in charge of like security. They're also going to be doing immigration at the same time.
Sunday night, there was less foot traffic and shorter security lines at the San Diego International Airport. As the week starts, we'll have to see what happens day by day.
And Von Wilpert also saying tonight that she has been in touch with San Diego Airport Authority staff and legal counsel. She goes on to say that we do not yet know the full scope of ICE's plans at the airport, but we are working to get answers and minimize disruption and anxiety for travelers and our workforce. She also goes on to say and to encourage folks to thank TSA agents while they're here.
So it is inevitable that ICE is going to have some sort of, participation at the airports. For many of us watching this video right now, it's not going to matter to us. And I do hope by now that many of us are not doing any sort of layover or stopover in the United States. But for those that are still going to the United States, or maybe even my US viewers, just be prepared, have all your documents ready. Because even for our US viewers, when you took a domestic flight, I'm pretty sure you didn't have to take your citizenship documents with you. But now you probably have to. Now, even though we're not going to the United States, that orange guy, he's screwing up our travel as well. Let's take a look.
Now, airfare is often top of mind when booking a trip, especially with the rising costs of fuel. But at the Ottawa International Airport, travelers say they may not be paying too much attention to it just yet. CTV's Josh Morano joins us live with more on this. Josh.
Yeah, Austin, higher airline tickets are often tied to not only demand, but also rising jet fuel prices. With the price of fuel skyrocketing, at least one major North American airline is winding down some flights as ticket prices are expected to climb. But at the Ottawa International Airport today, travelers are having mixed experiences. At the Ottawa International Airport, many are still traveling, even as costs in the airline industry rise.
We booked it a couple of weeks ago. We did most of it on points, but it was still pricey.
Tom Ertl is flying home to Fredericton and says booking closer to his trip came at a cost.
We don't do this leg often enough to really compare, but just generally flying is not for the faint of heart or for those with don't have deep pockets.
Now, I can attest to this because I'm actually trying to plan a trip, probably in like May or June, back home to visit friends and family. And the problem that I'm seeing now is that the flight, it would normally be about maybe, $1,500 to $2,000 Canadian. It's now at about $2,500. And that's per ticket, so I have to times it by 2 for my wife. The co-host will probably stay here. She's got a babysitter or a cat sitter that she can go to. But the point being is that the prices are going up. And I don't think they're going to be going down anytime soon. Which reminds me, I really should start to book my trip.
Others, however, say they're not seeing a big jump in ticket prices despite rising fuel costs, at least not yet.
Probably a concern, but we don't fly very often. We didn't really know what to expect, but it was fine, so we booked it.
Airlines, meantime, are adjusting. United Airlines announcing it's cutting 5% of scheduled flights through 2027 as higher fuel prices tied to ongoing tensions in the Middle East continue to drive up costs.
I booked that about 2 months back, this specific flight. But, with the situation currently in the Middle East specifically, it takes several iterations to finally decide on a timing.
With the price of jet fuel hovering around $175 US a barrel, there is some concern other airlines could soon follow suit. But for Ertl, that's not a concern, at least not right now.
It doesn't trouble me all that much. I've got lots of flexibility. I think the slashing of services and leg space and niggling little fees here and there for things, that's more of annoyance to me.
Even looking at flights between Ottawa and Toronto now, prices haven't shifted dramatically. I booked a one-way in February for about $250, and that's still roughly what you'll pay now. But how much longer airlines will hold prices steady despite the high cost of jet fuel is up in the air. Austin.
A lot of people will be watching that closely. Josh, thank you very much for this. CTV's.
Sure, your flight might be holding steady in regards to the price, but flights around the world are really starting to creep up. And I'm going to guess in about maybe 2 to 4 weeks, CTV will do another report. This time the tone's going to be skyrocketing prices. I don't have the answer on what we're supposed to do in these kind of situations. I mean, I'm trying to find a decent price on a flight to just, come home and visit friends and family. But one thing I do know is who to blame. And it's not the airlines, because they're not in charge of the fuel costs. It's the orange guy, his administration, and the 77 million people who voted for him. So if you're pissed off because your flight prices are high, or you're waiting in long lineups, just remember who caused all of this. If you found any value in anything I said today, or you want to hear more from a Canadian and international perspective without the US media bias, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button below. That way you're notified of my future videos. And if you want to see more of my videos, check out the ones that'll show up on your screen shortly. Thanks everyone. I'll catch you in the next one.